North America. What a garbage continent North America is. Yeah, two countries on this continent that are just absolutely shit. That's right. Two shitty countries that I really don't care about anymore because these two countries have shitty people in them. I ain't gonna say that all people in these two countries on the North American continent are shit. I ain't gonna say all these people in these two countries are shit. I mean, there's good and there's bad, and there's good and bad everywhere, in every continent. Yeah, but these two countries on the North American continent are the absolutely worst when it comes to like quality of life and quality of living. Um, yeah, one country has universal health care and the other country doesn't have universal health care. I mean, yeah. Both countries have shitty leaders. One country has a president which is an old man that stumbles and fumbles and just like he just has a speech problem. I mean, he has like cognitive decline. And in the other country has a prime minister who's a feminist. And as I heard, I mean, he absolutely sucks. He has done absolutely nothing for this country, for that country. You know, yeah, I mean, he sucks. Yeah, these two countries that I'm talking about and describing is the two countries here on the North American continent are the United States and Canada. Yeah, I mean, the United States has a mass shooting problem. People are cliquish, antisocial, don't want to talk to each other, too much individualism. People are divided by party. Yeah, everybody fights and bickers. I mean, you can't talk to anybody because I mean you're not allowed to talk to strangers. The only way you're gonna talk to strangers in this country is for business related purposes. And over up there in Canada, everybody is antisocial, ice cold, and passive aggressive, and they lie about their country. They lie about it all the time. I mean, yeah, like housing and healthcare. Somebody tell me, oh, you get healthcare. You gonna be paying out of the ass. Yeah, taxes are raised for universal healthcare, and that's how the system works. You raise taxes so the system can function properly. I think those people who complain about the healthcare just bitching about the wait times and they just lie and see all these crazy stuff about the healthcare. But anyway, fuck those people. Anyway, Don't want to go on and on and on in this video. In this video, I want to talk about, the police here in America. You know, I want to do this video because I did a video about an arrogant an arrogant police officer, and this arrogant police officer who responded to my comment in a video about a highway patrolman rolling up the window to his police cruiser after someone asked him a question after the traffic stop that the police officer conducted. Just rolled up the window and just drove off. And I called this guy a clown. And I was eaten up by a pro Texas person, then a police officer. This police officer who responded to my comment, who called me the only person who's a clown is that I see is you with your post, and you're just mad because you just disrespect the police. I mean, if you obey the law and stop breaking the law, maybe you wouldn't have a hatred towards the police. So I'm gonna let all of you know. I mean, some of you who live in other countries who don't know how the police are. I mean, you guys are in for a real treat. I mean, you guys probably won't know or probably won't know anything about the police in this country, the U.S. But this video is strictly to these pro supporting people who support the police supporters. I'm gonna let you all know my stance on the police. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I know that there's good cops and bad cops out there. I just don't like the bad cops, and I just go after the bad cops. You know, I heard about this pregnant woman in Arkansas who was like pulled over by a police officer who used a pit maneuver to stop her. She was driving along. It was a pregnant woman. It was a pregnant woman. Excuse me. It was a pregnant woman driving down the freeway, and this cop turns on his red and blue lights on his patrol car to signal her to pull over. And she didn't want to pull over. She wanted to pull over in a safe place, right? And she turned on her hazards to let the police officer know that she was gonna pull over in a safe place. But the cop didn't care. He just used his pit maneuver to stop her. He flipped her car over with the pit maneuver, and her car just went upside down and went upside down and just ended up being on top of the roof, upside down, the car and all upside down, and with the pregnant woman in it. Now, I think the pregnant woman and her family sued the police officer in the department that he worked for, the Arkansas State Police. I'm just gonna say this. To these bad police officers out there, those police officers with an ego, a superiority complex, and who are arrogant, who look down on the citizens and think they're better than the citizens, and think that the citizens are wrong and they're right because they go and do wrong. Shoot and kill unarmed, innocent black people. I mean, do all kinds of things that are just unlawful and wrong. these bad cops do a lot of bad, and they think they can just get away with everything because they have a gun and a badge and that police training. And to the ones who are very arrogant and has an ego, who, the ones who have an ego and the ones who are arrogant, they can just like choose someone out in a comment on a video on a YouTube channel that's police related. I mean, they can rip apart and put down someone and be an asshole, you know, and they know that if they piss someone off and someone get mad enough want to just put their hands on them and hurt them, they know that they can just pull out their gun and shoot and kill them, use their police training to take them down and arrest them and take them to jail. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like, but I just want to say this. I mean, just because you, a police officer, who think you are doing good but you're really doing bad. I mean, this is not towards good cops. This is towards like bad cops and cops with an ego who have a superiority complex, who are arrogant, who are highly educated by American standards. I mean, this message goes out to them. Just because you have just because you are a police officer and you have that police training, you wear that uniform, and you have a gun and a badge, yeah, with the police training, doesn't mean that you're invincible. You're not invincible. You can, I mean, your police training can fail on you and you can end up getting hurt. I mean, you can. I mean, I understand the men and women of law enforcement put their lives on the line to keep people safe and to do their job. And yeah, I'm one of those people. I mean, I got pulled over by cops in the past. I got approached by some in the past as well, and yeah, I got this. I mean, I had to attend I had to attend a defense driving school because I was pulled over by a highway patrolman or state trooper because I broke the stationary vehicle law by not moving on to by not switching lanes, like reducing my speed and turning on my left turn signal to move out of the slow lane onto the fast lane or overtaking lane on the freeway to avoid passing an emergency vehicle, which is the highway patrolman's police car or patrol unit that's parked on the side of the road or hard shoulder. I didn't do that. What I did is I swerved out of the way to drive in the middle of the freeway to avoid passing that police car. But I broke the stationary vehicle law, and I had no idea that I broke that law. Yeah, I didn't know that law existed. So there's a saying, ignorance of the law is no excuse. But the cop that pulled me over was an asshole. He didn't care. He didn't give a damn what I was saying. I mean, I was running my mouth and I was being ignored by that cop. So yeah. So yeah, taking a look at how police officers are overseas. I look at how American cops are. It's just comical to me. Yeah, a lot of these cops, and people in America, politicians, they love to put down the United Kingdom because of their high knife crime. Because they have gun control and they did away with guns because of that mass shooting that happened somewhere in the UK or in England or in Scotland back in 1996, and they brought out gun control, and and they didn't have like mass shootings that that don't happen all the time like here in America do, and you know politicians and patriots and police officers here in America love to bring up knife crimes in the UK. I mean, they love to put down other countries. You know, here's the thing, the United States don't have the right to lecture other countries. The police come and teach police in other countries how they do policing. I mean, they don't have the right to do that. They don't have the right to educate police officers in other countries how to do policing, because police officers in other countries don't want the policing that the police in America do. They don't want the training. They're okay with their own training. But America as a whole, the United States, has no business, has no business, or have the right to tell, has the right to put down other countries and make their country look good while they put down other countries. Like, you know, yeah, these Americans, police officers or not, they can bring up the high knife crime in the UK. They can bring that up all they want, but the reality is they don't have. The reality is the United Kingdom and Australia and other countries, other developed civilized countries, don't have all the don't have mass shootings happen all the time like they do here in America. Yeah, and this person from Australia said it best. At least we don't have a heaps of mass shootings. So yeah, going back to these police officers. One of them that bashed me because I bashed a rude Texas Highway Patrol trooper, who rode up the window to his patrol car and drove away when a citizen approached him and asked him a question about the traffic stop, and rolled up the window and drove off. And I saw this in a YouTube video, and when he drove away and went to drive onto the highway, this happened at a gas station somewhere in Texas. He didn't turn on his turn signal to signal to someone behind him if he's going to make a left turn or right turn. It was just humorous. But when I criticize him, this arrogant cop have the nerve to call me a clown because of my post, and accuse me of me being angry at cops pulling me over when I break the law. Well, I'm not trying to break the law. I'm not a lawbreaker. I believe in obeying the law, and I believe in driving by the speed limit. I believe in that. Because a lot of these cops don't care about you being tired and been worked to death at a job and being so worn out. They don't care. They catch you, they'll nail you for it, give you a ticket. I got yelled at by cops in the past. I pulled over for a cop who nailed me for speeding, but this cop yelled at me and said this: "Next time you see a cop behind you, you pull over right now." Well, I pulled over for you when you pulled onto the highway with your lights flashed, and I pulled over for you. I wasn't trying to run from you. I wasn't. You basically tell me something that I already just did, you idiot. Yeah, you know, and this cop was very critical of my posts and assuming that I hate cops because I want to break the law and never get caught by a police officer. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, being a guy who's the son of a police officer, which is my dad who's retired, and I have a brother who passed away who was hit head on by a teenager in a white Buick. He hit my brother head on and killed him. I mean, he was a police officer as well, And I got nothing against the police, I respect the police. I just don't respect bad cops. I don't respect cops who have an ego slash superiority complex and who are arrogant, who act like assholes, who look down on the public and think they're better than them and assuming that someone is bad. And it's just a joke. Some of these bad cops, some of these cops love to bring up the police training of why they act rude to the public and treat the public bad. Yeah, I understand that you guys have a dangerous job. You put your life on the line to protect the citizens, but being rude to a citizen is no excuse. But I understand, like if I ask you a question, you got a call on your radio, you have to go and answer that call to race to the scene and put yourself in harm's way, in danger. Yeah, I understand that. I'm not gonna bash you for that. But if you're not doing any of that, if a citizen goes and asks you a question and you roll up the window up on your patrol car and drive off and being rude, I don't respect that. And you got these people who worship the police and they'll say stuff like this. They don't care if the cops are good or bad, and they'll say this. Um, don't ever challenge a Texas Highway Patrol trooper, especially in Texas. And you shouldn't diss the police. They are keeping you safe. And you live in Texas. You shouldn't diss the police. And you weren't on that traffic stop. So don't think that you know everything. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Wow. Yeah. 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 My God. I mean, police in other countries and their supporters don't act like that or talk like that. Just here in America that you get that. Yeah. 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 I just want to say this, I don't hate the police. You know, it's good that, the police are out there protecting the public. But, I don't respect the police who do wrong and do bad and have an ego slash superiority complex and are arrogant. Yeah, yeah, some police officers who do bad are cowards. You know, they're cowards. They're bullies. You know, a lot of them are trigger happy and ticket happy. And also, my dad told me this. In the law enforcement community, if you're a police officer in a precinct with other cops, they don't care nothing about you. You're on your own. I mean, they don't care about you, what happens to you. Is all they care about stabbing you in the back, just to have a high arrest record and and writing out the most tickets and get a promotion and get paid better. That's all they care about, you know. They don't care about you. My dad also told me that a long time ago, I mean, back in the old days, police officers used to have each other's backs and they care about one another because they believe that, you know, police work is a team and you're part of that family. Everybody, if something happens to you, I mean, they'll break down in tears and be sad, you know, and they also will back you up and stand up for you if somebody accuse you of doing something that you did, some non-cop will accuse you of something that you didn't do. And you know, my dad said, you know, it's not like that anymore. You know, you got these police officers today. A lot of them aren't worth a dime. You know, and that's very easy for me to believe. Really. Yeah. Yeah, also my dad told me this. I mean, you don't want to be a police officer. Stay out of that. It is bad. It is bad. You don't want to go near that. You know, and he's right, you know. But, you know, me having a learning disability, you know, I can't be a police officer because, I can't comprehend or remember what I've learned. I can't remember who I arrested that person for, but, I can just overcome what I was born with. I can be a cop, but it doesn't matter if I have a disability or not. I wouldn't join anyway. So I wouldn't join seeing like how the police and police culture is. Corruption. Police are an occupying army slash gang. They're armed with military equipment and all that stuff used in war. It's insane, and they just shoot at innocent people with paintball guns. It's crazy. Yeah, you know, yeah, the defunding police thing. I'm gonna say this. Um, Defunding the police is not a bad thing. It's not to abolish the police and get rid of the police. I mean, that's not what that term is all about. But it's a bad term to describe this, and it's like this. It's to like just to take certain responsibilities away from the police. Like dealing with people with a disability or people who are mentally ill. Letting social workers and health social services deal with them. Is to take that responsibility away from them. And like I'm not saying like take all the funding, the money from the police. Just say, yeah, you can have money for the police, but also you need to put money in things like like healthcare, education, mental health, um, infrastructure, public housing. You know, programs to help the poor and vulnerable. Job programs, for the poor and the vulnerable. Like making marijuana legal, like you know, seeing crime go down. Like that's what this that's what this means. But yeah, defunding the police are thrown in that. I hope I'm making sense into this. I just heard this from somebody, but defunding the police is not getting rid of the cops and abolishing the police. No, I mean I'm not for getting rid of the police. I'm for improving the police, but yeah, some say the improving the police training won't help. You know, but it is what it is. It's a start, but yeah. But anyway, I just want to say this before I end this video. I don't hate the police. I mean, I have respect for the men and women of law enforcement who are there to serve and protect. Who police officers who are out there doing good and doing the right thing, who are respectful to the public. I give my hats off to them. I respect them. I don't respect bad cops. I don't respect cops who have an ego slash superiority complex, who are arrogant, who put uneducated people down and some educated people down with their knowledge and their big words, who act like assholes. I don't respect those cops. And to those police officers out there who assume that I hate the police and I hate all cops, I hate a certain police agency, I'm gonna say this: fuck you, go to hell, kiss the crack in my ass, and suck my dick for all I care. Okay. Also, I want to add this. I notice the people in the police, firefighters, first responders, and people who do any type of job that they do for a living here in Texas. I noticed this. I mean, when they talk, they're very cryptic on saying something to you. They talk to you about something. They're very cryptic. Like for instance, okay, they like some okay like this for instance. Okay, the knife crimes in the UK. I mean, the stabbings in the UK. I mean, they'll say something like this: they don't have so and so and so and so. They just get their heads cut off, meaning that the stabbings and the stabbings from the high knife crimes in the United Kingdom. And I look at this, I'm saying to myself, getting their heads cut off. Like, that's kind of clever, but at the same time, it's kind of weird. I mean, it's kind of funny. I get thrown off how people talk here in Texas. I guess if I don't know what they're talking about, I'm ignoring them and I don't know what they're talking about. I don't understand. But if you ask them what they're talking about, like they still be cryptic towards you, and you have to figure out what they're saying. Like they're not like anybody, other people in other states in the U.S. I mean, people in other states are just plainly just they don't have their foot in their mouths when they tell you something like people in Texas do. They just tell you straight up about something. Here, they're cryptic. That goes for like that goes for like police officers and non-police officers. But I also want to say this to foreigners in other countries. Yeah, the police are not like the police in your country. I mean, there's no speed cameras on the freeways or motorways or autobahns or auto routes, as you guys call them in Europe or in other countries. I mean, there's no speed cameras, and the police aren't your friend. They're not. They're bullies. They'll walk all over you. I mean, they'll treat you like dirt. Some of them, not all of them. Yeah, so any one of you who think about coming to America, I mean, just keep that in mind. Yeah, you know, it'd be good to see how police officers are in other developed, sane, civilized countries. But I'm just gonna say this. Countries outside of America and Canada, they're not far from perfect. They have their flaws, and they do. But And this is fact. Even though they have problems, they don't have the problems that the United States has. And that's fact. So that's all I want to say in this video. Just want to get this off my chest because, you know, I noticed that I did a video about this arrogant cop on this channel. Got 1 like and 2 dislikes, you know. So that's all I gotta say in this video. Au revoir.